There are very few who can even think of holding a flame to the likes of Steph Curry, and those who aren't ready tend to crash and burn when performing against the NBA superstar. Today, we're going to be analyzing the Celtics matchup. Let's dive into today's video. First up, MVPs fall from grace. Jayson Tatum successfully became the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals a little over a week ago and started making moves in his career as he was chosen to the All-NBA first team and ended 6th in the MVP voting for the regular season. So why is he failing to perform at those athletic levels for his team, the Celtics? Tatum hasn't exactly been terrible this season. Despite his atrocious shooting in Game 1, he still had an overall positive impact and broke the previous record for most assists in any NBA Finals debut, 13. In Game 2, he went on to lead the Celtics in scoring with 28 points on 19 field goal tries in total. But there was at least some discussion about him officially being the best player in the league, and in the finals before this series began too. He has been completely outclassed by Steph and Curry till now in all manners of the sport. You would be correct to assume that an athlete like Tatum's influence doesn't appear to be as significant as his box score statistics seem to suggest. Only 7 points have separated these clubs thus far, despite their Game 2's lack of competition this time. Tatum's series net rating is a finals worst, which is an unfortunate -20. One of the best numbers of any players is Curry's, +15 so far. The gap between those two guys can't be that big if the Celtics are well on their way to win this series. In just 2 games, Curry has drastically elevated his performance to a spectacular level. His shooting prowess has been front and center of the Warriors' tactical offensive strategy. Tatum, meanwhile, has performed significantly worse than he did during the regular season or earlier rounds in his game, and the Warriors were the salt on the wound. Tatum's problems are made even more concerning to fans by the Warriors' breakout success in guarding him so well that he couldn't make a play. Curry and Jordan Poole were unable to defend Luka Doncic's performance in the Western Conference Finals, according to NBA legend Steve Kerr. The same misconception about Tatum hasn't been entirely accurate either. Kerr intentionally turned flimsy defenders against him, and he somehow succeeded in managing to do that. Curry is not a poor defender in any sense, but Tatum should have little trouble getting past him due to his massive size advantage. He has done just that with a few tactics of his own. Tatum has also used that same height to hit pull-up three-pointers over Curry with ease from distance. But even now, not enough of those plays have taken place, as they should have. In every one of his mismatches, Tatum has been way too complacent, giving up altogether or opting for contested mid-range shots to play it safe. He doesn't look well in his games and is still making a terrible 4 out of 22 two-point shots, which really says something. At this point, even we're speculating that we could make more of that. Tatum has had dirt-poor rim statistics, but his mid-range statistics have been much worse when we analyze it from a deeper lens. In the entire series, he had only made a single shot, an exceedingly difficult falling fadeaway over Gary Payton II extended arms, which was pure luck in many people's eyes. The weakest defender in this series is Poole, if we had to pick just one. Whether it's him or Kevin Looney, Tatum cannot accept a contested elbow jumper if his life depended on it. Next, lackluster performance. Tatum's driving statistics also demonstrate clearly his passiveness in his games. In the NBA Finals, he is only averaging 12 drives per game, compared to the more impressive stats of 13.7 which he was putting up in the earlier stages. In comparison to the Warriors men who are thrown at him, Tatum is faster and clearly stronger. He needs to exert his dominance over the game rather than acting as a supporting player, because this is the NBA's biggest stage of the year where you can't afford to fumble. He cannot let men such as Nemanja Bjelica silence him just yet. Due to his defensive shortcomings, Bjelica wasn't intended to be able to participate in this series and didn't make the cut. In Game 2, he received some rotational minutes, and when Tatum was shifted onto him, he held him to 0 points till the buzzer sounded off. Things aren't going the way they should be for the Celtics when you can create an entire highlight reel off players like Bjelica stopping Tatum in the finals. Tatum has struggled greatly with ball handling during the series, which raised a lot of alarm bells. He can't bring the ball up and allow Looney to rip it from under him. Under Draymond Green's ball pressure, he has deteriorated, making poor, hurried reads and bad passes that have no chance of getting through to the rim. The series has been decided by turnovers, and Tatum's carelessness has contributed to the Warriors preserving a 30-26 advantage, with the folks in his hometown are scratching their heads over. The Celtics' defeat in Game 2 wasn't due to someone like Tatum. If anything, he hasn't been good enough in this series, and he obviously wasn't the reason they won their crucial Game 1. During several of these games, he was just a floater on the court and was not seen enough. Tatum must learn from his superior opponent and make the Warriors stay up all night planning how to stop him at this point, as Curry has, if the Celtics want to prolong this series in a total of 5 games. The Warriors are a top top-tier adversary on the court, and being mediocre just won't cut it. Now, in other news, Kyrie Twitter shenanigans. On the hardwood, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are envisioned as the next generation's power couple. Durant has been all about what the pair anticipated 3 years later, but Irving hasn't upheld his end of the bargain, which is causing some pretty unsavory rumors about him. Even on social media, Kyrie is outmatched by Durant. There is far too much free time on the hands of Kyrie and Durant, if you ask us. They don't worry about their wives, kids, or other playoffs as much as they do this matter. Their online behavior couldn't be more different, however. Kyrie considers himself to be a global philosopher in some ways, which is the key difference. He continually preaches about social ills to everyone who will listen, but he does so from the limited perspective of an amateur with the self-assurance of a skilled elite in his prime. No one is requesting that he stop talking and shooting, but at least bring some substance to the table if you're going to do this. Next, free Britney. Since Brittany Griner, a 7-time dynamic Women's National Basketball Association All-Star, has been imprisoned in Russia for 100-plus days now, Penny Taylor has used her chance at the official induction into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame to plead for her release. It takes true character to set aside a moment you worked your whole life for in order to raise your voice in the service of others. Taylor pleaded for President Joe Biden's assistance on Saturday, saying BG is no less than family, and she's also his responsibility. She said that Griner must be prioritized at this time, and the entire international sports community must unite to demand this from Putin and his Russian forces. The 2-time Olympic gold winner has been held since February 17th after it was claimed that marijuana oil-infused vape cartridges were abruptly discovered in her luggage at an airport close to the Moscow territory. Lastly, former ABA player dies waiting on the NBA. Sam Smith met a heartbreaking demise as he passed away in his humble house on the east side of Indianapolis. He had recently swallowed his pride and called a friend to ask for money for basic necessities such as petrol. He passed away as a man who had to go to lengths such as making a call to request assistance with matters as personal as his own daughter's burial costs. He passed away as a man who played in what was the American Basketball Association and paved the way for the current NBA as we know and love today. But Smith's basketball career was over in every sense. He just reached that point in his career where his age caught up to him, so he had to take a backseat and enjoy what was left of his time. He obtained employment as a security supervisor at the Ford Assembly Factory in Indianapolis after playing for the Utah Stars and the ABA champions. Years went by like this, and things grew tougher as time went on. The Dropping Dimes Foundation, which aids struggling ABA players and their families, was contacted by Smith as long as 5 years ago when his 50th reunion for winning the NCAA Division II championship with Kentucky Wesleyan College was coming up. That's a wrap for this video. How do you feel about Steph's game this season? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.